Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Crust. My name's Steve Woody. We're going to jump straight into this absolute beginner's guide. We're going to do a storyline playthrough. This is an early access game. It is very much a blend of Frostpunk and Satisfactory. So if you like these base building, resource gathering, automation style games, but this one's got a great storyline to it. I'm going to let you go through the tutorial. There's going to be a bit of narration. We'll let it play out, and then we'll talk you through everything you need to do to get started. All right, let's jump in. So basically the story here is that Earth is struggling, and we've been sent by corporations up to the moon to harvest resources, and we are part of a kind of new age of technology that's going up to deal with all of the boomers that are up there. And we're just arriving. This is the first space elevator. This is 2080, the year's 2080. And on Earth, we've sent up a space elevator. But this is the first time we used it. Pretty cool. Graphics look good. And this is meant to mark a big step forward for humanity. So here is Hope 1. This is a geostation orbit. And here we go, leaving the space station and heading towards the moon. Destination Moon, base MT4. All right, Lagrange Point 1. This is the New Hope Logistics Hub. Cars crossing road, always in favor of HB11. Priority launch and landing has been approved by Crust. Alpha team, get ready to head back home. Over. Watch yourself out there. Lunar night is coming. Stand by, Alpha team. We've got visitors. All right, here we are. So a good introduction. Again, a great story. We'll get to see this play out.
Mayor Tranquilitatis Logistics to incoming transition. Please state your intentions. Over.
Alice to MT Logistics. We have received clearance and hold a signed contract with Mr. Holloway for our mining operations in this designated sector. We're here to commence our activities as scheduled.
MT Logistics to Alice. We weren't informed of your early arrival. We've just finished building the elevator for your drones to access the underground facilities. At the moment, all the electricity is being used to charge the batteries as we prepare for night. We can't route power to the elevator right now. I suggest you keep your mining buddies in orbit for the next 2 weeks while we wait for the sun to come up, sweetheart.
We made it here right on schedule, but waiting for the next morning on the moon, a whole 2 weeks of downtime, is utterly unacceptable. This could jeopardize our entire mining contract. We need a better plan. And the name's Alice, not sweetheart.
A little bit of early morning misogyny just to get us going here. And yeah, starting to learn the characters.
Good afternoon, Director. This is Alice, your Vice President. We have a bit of a situation here, but I'm already on it. First, let's test our connection. Give this dialog box a click if you're hearing me loud and clear, then we can proceed. Connection solid. That's a start. Give me a few minutes to secure our landing clearance. Feel free to soak in the sights while you wait. I'm sure you have a great view of the moon from your orbital station. So, Robert, do we have a deal?
All right, so we can take a look around. W, A, S, and D to move. You've got Q and E to rotate. Middle mouse wheel to zoom in and zoom out. Hold down the middle mouse wheel and you can kind of move from a different perspective. So we can kind of look around these solar panels, the batteries, everything that's been built here. Pretty cool. Good graphics, really well designed, well built. We can come back to the top-down view here. And we can kind of see this like Lunar production. Now, this is a tiered game. What I mean by that is there is a lower, a middle, and a higher tier of levels. we are currently in the middle tier, which is the lunar surface. You can also go subsurface, and you can go above kind of an orbital view. So we've got orbit, surface, and subsurface are the 3 different tiers, and we're currently on the surface. So we're just having a look around, and we're waiting for Alice to finish talking to Robert. Looking at the UI, just to get an idea here, we can pause the game if we want to. Numbers 1, 2, and 3 allow you to move at 1, 2, or 4 times speed. Spacebar pauses. We've got credits that we can see here. We've got power grids, battery. We've got water consumption. We've got oxygen. We've got drones, people, CPU capacity, and then reputation. This is all of the main stuff. Then we can open up the resource tab. There's 2 tabs. There's a right panel, which we can open up full, or we can close it. And also we have a resource tab here as well, which we can open and close. This shows us the basic materials. Regolith is like a space dust. We then have titanium oxide, iron oxide, and silicon oxide, as well as aluminium oxide. So regolith is the space dust that can then make the 4 ingredients. A byproduct of these is called slag, which is commonly known in the construction industry. We've also got rare earth minerals, which are kind of like an upgraded core resource. We can then produce things from this. So smart concrete, iron oxide into steel. We've got silicon oxide into silicon, titanium oxide into titanium, aluminium oxide into aluminium. So we can process that. And then we can go a step further. We can press them into titanium plates, rare earth elements. We've got components, microcircuits, carbon fibers. We've also got ice. So again, these are your base level. These are your mid tier. And then we've got the high end, which is the modular terminals, modular frames. We've got plates, nanotubes, composites, and we've got microprocessors, control units, energy cells, and medicines. So this kind of shows you all of the resources on the kind of the raw material, the base, and then the top tier. All right, nice and easy to understand. The resources, once you've got an idea of that, it's quite simple. Bottom left, we've got a few controls. We'll be talked through these later. Bottom right, we've also got some controls. Again, we'll be talked through these later. So we don't really need to worry about anything. We can turn things onto temperature mode, oxygen mode. We can look at the water supply, and we can look at the power supply. So we don't really need to worry about anything else at the moment. On the left side, it shows us all of the things we need to do. But right now, we just need to talk to Alice. So we're going to unpause.
Let me be clear. A 2-week power outage equals job loss and a costly
If we pause, we don't hear anything.
lawsuit for me. I don't care who you are, get Holloway on this. But no power for you and your toys until sunrise. We just don't have extra electricity right now.
All right.
Look, Robert, you and I got off on the wrong foot. Our drones were originally designed for autonomous construction and repair, and we've brought the necessary resources. Grant us landing permission, and we'll handle the power situation ourselves.
Okay.
This benefits both of us. More solar panels for you, and we could land our toys and get going. They also can handle the repairs. So, should I update Mr. Holloway on our successful collaboration?
A little bit of condescending misogyny going on in the intro credits. Nothing like a bit of drama.
All right, Alice. You have permission to land. Make sure your fancy drones don't break anything. Over and out.
Perfect. All right. Time to
Director,
land.
it's your call. Permission to land has been granted. Show this Bob the Builder that we can fix this.
Objective achieved.
Choose a place to land the pods near the elevator. To do this, click on the notification on the left side of the screen and select an appropriate location.
All right. We'll bring in the first cargo pod, which has got our drones, and a second one, which has got our resources. Now, we can put it anywhere. It's telling us to put it down here. It doesn't really matter.
Director, your primary responsibility is to ensure resource extraction and processing at our logistics hub on the Sea of Tranquility. Currently, it depends on external supplies. If you can address this issue, even partially, rest assured, we'll secure long-term contracts for you in the years to come.
So even though we've got all of this technology, there's still boomers out there. And yeah, there's a lot of trouble back on Earth resources are scarce, so we're using the moon. Corporations have now privatized a lot of the moon, and they are farming resources. So there's a lot of contracts. There's a lot of relationships that you've got to manage. But ultimately, we've been sent out to just clean up the operations and allow us to farm the resources and sell them for contracts. That's our job.
I personally vouched for your mission to the board. I'd hate to send you home with nothing. Better help me convince these old-timers that you are a promising team, and your work is the future.
All right.
Absolutely, Mr. Holloway. Both the director and I are immensely grateful to you. Our focus is on establishing a long-term partnership, and we'll do our utmost to make it a reality. You can count on us. To get started, select the required modules on the construction panel and place their holograms on the moon's surface. The drones will perform all construction tasks automatically.
Okay, so this is construction mode. If we click on this,
Place the holograms of solar panels on the highlighted sites. Our drones will pick up necessary resources and begin construction.
so here we can see we've got mining, production, electricity, storage, logistics, science and CPU, life support, and recreational. So we're going to focus on electricity right now, and we're going to focus on a medium solar panel. You can see what they cost. So it's going to cost 3 CPU, but it's going to give us 75 power. It's going to cost us to build it 2 steel beams, 3 bricks, 10 silicon, and 1 plate. All right, so we have the resources. So to place things, we can zoom in. We can left click to drop one down, and we'll drop one. But if we hold down left shift, we can actually place down multiple, one after the other. You can also control C on one to be able to highlight it, and then we can control V if we need to put another one down. So copy and paste works here as well. All right, so that's going to build the 4 solar panels that we need. We can speed up time by pressing number 3, and then it will move quicker. You can see all of the drones, they automatically move. We've got 8 drones at the moment. These are basic drones. They just do basic tasks. So they build, but they can also move stuff as well.
Objective achieved.
Would you look at that? They've actually built them. Not a bad start at all. Alice, can you hear me? Your drones did a good job. Faster than I expected. All the energy from these panels will go to you, but if you want to work at night, you need to take care of saving it now. For this, you're going to need some batteries.
Well, thank you for your unwavering faith in our abilities, Robert. And I hope we've convinced you that we know what we're doing. And now our suddenly efficient drones will be busy building batteries.
Oh, sorry, I missed one, but it's telling me what to do. So it's just saying I need to do exactly the same thing. So construction mode, electricity, batteries. I can press R to rotate. Again, holding down left shift. I'm going to place these down. Like so. And they will automatically start to, as long as there's a material, if I click on this, you can see it needs steel, it needs silicon, so it's put all the parts in and then the construction will begin. This one is waiting on some parts. So now you can see it's just had the steel. This one's bringing over the silicon. And again, I can speed this up by pressing 3, it will go quicker. The other thing to note in the top right here is you can see the day-night cycle. It is 1 day and 14 nights. So you have to consider energy supply and how this works with the power grid. You need to make sure that you have enough consumption to get you through those nights, which is why we're setting up the solar panels and then the batteries. All right, it's also telling us we need to build a charging station. So construction mode. We're going to go back to electricity, to the charging station, and we'll just put this down. It doesn't matter where it goes. We'll just put it there for now. Again, this is just a pre-log for the game. We haven't started the game yet. It is just kind of giving you the introduction to the story.
Objective achieved.
Well, your drones really know how to build. Now use the wiring tool and connect the solar panels and batteries. Next, you just need to power up the elevator and you'll gain access to the underground level.
Okay.
Switch to the utilities mode and select the wiring tool. You can right-click to quickly access the tool. Shift consecutive wiring.
All right, so click down here. Now you can see their grid. We've got our own independent grid that we've built here. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect this. Now we can actually connect theirs as well. If I just click once, I'll then need to click again, but if I hold down shift, again, I can do consecutive wiring. So one of the methods that they use here, and this is the method we can use. We can also dismantle if we need to. But one of the methods that they use here is what is called the snaking method. And you can kind of see this and how it works here. So you snake around because you've only got a certain amount of connection points. So especially on things like this, with solar panels, they'll all be used up. So once that's done, we then need to connect up this.
Objective achieved.
And then we need to connect up this. So now we've connected up the
Now that everything is up and running,
charging
let's
port.
get down to business. Switch to the underground level by pressing tab.
All right, so these are going to charge up, and then the next one will come on. So the drones will keep charging. And again, we go to the lower level that we talked about. We can do that by pressing tab. So we've done everything we need to do now on the surface.
Objective achieved.
Great. To start mining, build the drone configuration module. The elevator transfers power from the surface to the underground level. No need to worry about that.
Okay, so back into construction mode, to mining, and we need a drone reconfiguration model. So we're just going to put that down here. And then the drones will come down. They'll give it all the resource it needs, components, smart concrete, and steel.
Now wire it to the elevator to power the module.
So the wiring tool from the elevator to here. And we have power.
Pardon my curiosity, but how are you going to extract lunar regolith with cargo robots? I'm far from a robotics expert, of course, but it seems like we have more questions than answers at this point.
That's an excellent question, Robert, and I'd be delighted to answer it. However, I need to wrap up some things first.
Oh, she doesn't like the fact that he called her sweetheart.
The drone reconfiguration module allows up to 5 drones to be converted into mining drones and vice versa.
All right, so click on this. Convert 4 drones into mining drones. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So those standard drones are now...
Now let's have the drones excavate an area measuring 50 standard units. In the meantime, I'll have a chat with our curious Bob.
All right, excavate 50 cells of regolith. So the way we do this is clicking on the excavation mode. And here you can see the brush size. So we can go from 1 to 2 to 3. So if I do this and click on this area, you'll see these will start to mine these resources. So they're going to break this down. Now, if I do it again and left click, you'll see that it becomes lighter in color. It will always prioritize the red back to the green. So it will start there first. If I need an area to be a high priority area, I just click on the flame and it will focus on this area first. If I've made a mistake, I can erase the selected area if I don't want to do this bit. And I can remove everything if I want to and start again. Once I'm happy, just right click.
To order the drones to start the
There we go.
excavation, you need to use the highlighting tool and mark areas for digging. And the mining drones will do the rest.
There we go.
Robert, to answer your question, our company has been providing repair and maintenance services for robotics and mining equipment for over 10 years. We were involved in the development and maintenance of technology for lunar mining along with the first industrial expeditions to the moon, even before the construction of the space elevator and the full-scale development of the moon by mankind.
Objective achieved.
And I'm pleased to inform you, Robert, that by pooling our vast experience, we have been able to develop and implement multifunctional drone technology that can be re-equipped for a variety of tasks. Did I answer your question in enough detail, or should I send you a set of materials for review? I can throw in a set of coloring books especially for you, so you can quietly make your downtime in the workplace more enjoyable.
You go, girl.
All right, Alice, I get the hint. You do your job and I'll mind my own business. By the way, I'll grab a few coloring books as souvenirs for the kids. I'll be heading home in about 2 weeks.
Okay.
Director, I understand that I can be difficult at times, but your Alice is quite remarkable. She reminds me of my ex-wife.
We're all still on the same channel, Robert.
So, what's up with those coloring books?
I'll send them to your wife along with some flowers. She's not likely to get them from her husband.
All right, tutorial complete. So that's the introduction we've been through. So we've kind of got the introduction on the characters. We understand the basics of the game now. We're going to continue to the campaign at this stage. And then it's going to go into cutscene.
Wait.
And this
We're
is where
getting
you would be
distress
if you
signals
skipped
from
the tutorial.
everywhere. Director, the alert system isn't malfunctioning. We have to check.
All right. So it looks like an asteroid hit the moon and wiped out the base. Quick cutscene, and then we're going to jump into the main story.
This is an emergency broadcast. We have detected an imminent asteroid collision with the moon's surface. We are currently assessing the extent of the damage and the number of casualties. At this moment, our teams are working tirelessly to restore communication with lunar outposts. For those still on the moon, be aware that we are mobilizing all available resources to assist you. Conserve your energy and ration your supplies until further notice. Additional information will be provided as the situation unfolds. Stay tuned for updates. Over and out.
I repeat, Crust has declared a state of emergency of the first degree. Commercial shipments and cargo landings are prohibited. All complexes, resources, and facilities on the moon are now under Crust control. All remaining facilities should switch to emergency frequency and report their status. Conserve energy and resources, and await further instructions.
Okay. So, this is all we know right now.
What's happening? Director, can you hear me? We're receiving reports that a meteorite collided with the moon and the state of emergency has been declared. Director, confirm you're on the line right now. You could have done it more quickly and spared me the worry. Director, there's still no signal from the personnel of the base. I'll try again, but my hope is dwindling. Robert, come in. Robert, do you copy? Robert, damn it, come in. There appear to be no survivors. I'm glad you were on the orbital station when the collision happened. I suggest you stay there as long as possible. We should try to hold out until logistics with Earth are restored. Start with electricity. We still have resources and functional drones. That should be enough for a few solar panels and batteries.
Okay. So, this is the same layout as where we just was, but as you can see, by the way, brilliant use of just creating these assets in game, but now rather than being all beautiful as they were, they're all destroyed and knackered. It's got a really good ambience to it. Great story so far, great graphics, really engaging, and enjoying this so far. Hope you are too. Let's jump into the gameplay now. We've kind of done the introduction. So it's about a 20-minute introduction there. We need to install 5 solar panels. So we know how to do this, but we are limited on what we have available to us now. As you can see, we've got some credits, but we have nothing else. Everything else has kind of started again. So everything's been destroyed. We can do small solar panels. We're going to go ahead and just place 5 of these down. We'll leave a little gap here between each one. Doesn't really matter how you do this, but we're just going to put these down, and then 5 batteries. Now, we don't have many resources, so we're not going to get carried away. We're just going to put down what we can at the moment, and we're going to connect everything up. So, from the wiring, we really want to do this during the day as well. We're at the start of the day cycle. We want to do this because we need power. In the top right, you can see we're just starting in that day cycle now before night. 14 days of night means that we're going to need enough power in the batteries. So all of this needs to be built quickly.
By the seismic activity, the meteorite impact occurred on the far side of the moon. We're lucky it happened so far away from our mission. But the strength of the blast wave raises a lot of questions.
All right, so this game is going to guide you on things to do, but naturally you're going to progress a lot quicker than the guide. And so there are some things you're going to do before the guide tells you to do it. And it can become very, very overwhelming and very confusing very quickly. So we're going to talk through the basics. And one of the things I want to just talk about is the power here. So I'm just going to pause the game while we look at this. You can see there are currently, it says there are 3 different power grids. Now, we're only really focused on our main power grid, which is the one that we're building. So let's just go ahead and finish this last one. And once it's built,
Objective achieved.
now when we have a look, you'll see that we have the power grid that we're using. And here's our battery. So at the moment, you can see that the output capacity of our battery is 50 energy. That is because each battery can output 10 as a maximum. It can charge 50, but it can only output 10. So we can hold 100,000 units of charge, but we can only output 10 at a time. As a result, you can see here that if we put all 5 of these together, this will give us our battery capacity, which is 500,000 units. Each of these is generating at the moment, during the daytime, 20 kilowatts of energy each. So this is 100 kilowatts of energy being output. Now, these can only take 50 as a maximum charge. So what is happening is it will charge the first one until the first one is full. Then it will move along, charge the second, third, and then as you can see, it's starting to charge the back one. So they're all getting charge. And the batteries will hold that charge until nighttime. So the solar panels will be using all of their energy right now, but we have a surplus of plus 68 kilowatts of power, and that is going in to charge the batteries. We're not actually using anything at the moment. So it's really important to understand power and how that works, because at night, remember, we have a 1 day and a 14-night cycle. So it's really important to understand that at night, if we have more buildings than we have capacity for, then we might be able to operate during the day, but we won't be able to operate at night. So we have to always ensure that we have more capacity and enough charge in our batteries to get us through that night cycle. Very important to keep an eye on that.
Is that all the head of the research department can say? Somewhere far away there was an explosion and we don't know the cause?
Because scientists are working with proven facts, not speculating on fragmentary evidence. Much more data would be needed to reach the conclusions.
We have electricity, but our resource reserves are almost depleted. We need to restore production as soon as possible. Let's start with repairing the elevator to gain access to the underground level.
All right, click on this. We've got enough materials, so we can click repair. It's going to use 2 components and 10 steel. If we look at resources, you can see we really don't have much. We have no raw materials. We just have a few, very few materials to get us started. All right, so we need to repair the elevator. Then we need to connect the elevator to the network. So we can go ahead and do that from here. Just do it from this battery. And we need to build the charging station again. We can go ahead and do that as well. So construction mode, electricity, charging station. And we'll go ahead and put that just here. We need to connect that up. We'll give it some power. And then the drones can now use the batteries to be able to charge themselves.
Objective achieved.
Then build a charging station for the drones. Make sure that elevator and charging station are connected to the power network.
All done. All right, now that's done. It says there's not enough power.
Director, we're getting word of supply shortages from almost everywhere on Earth. The explosion cut off most of the supply channels from the moon. Millions of people are in need of resources, and we can satisfy that demand. Supplies used to run through the contract system, but it came to a complete halt after the explosion. We might be able to fix that.
The explosion destroyed everything on the surface, but there may still be mining modules underground. We need to go down and see what we have left.
Okay, press tab,
Objective achieved.
and we're down.
Director, we need to reconnect the power supply to the underground level. Connect the elevator and electrical pole with wires so we can see the scale of the damages.
All right, here we go. We'll connect that pole to the elevator, and now we've got
That's better.
power.
I see that we have a module to produce smart concrete, but we have an urgent need to resume production of steel and silicone.
Okay.
Director, I have an idea. First, convert 5 drones into miners, and we'll proceed.
The drone reconfiguration module allows up to 5 drones to be converted into mining drones and vice versa.
So that was in the pre-log, but it's just repeating it in case we
We
didn't
have
do the
smelting
training.
furnaces, but to start producing any resource, the relevant oxides are always needed. We will now mine them with the mining drones. Director, we have access to iron and silicone veins. Assign drones to mine the resources from the veins to supply the processing modules with raw materials.
Okay, so nice and easy.
Enter excavation mode and assign mining drones to mine resources directly from a vein.
All right, so let's just pause this while we talk about this very briefly. If we look over a vein here, this is an iron deposit. Every bit of dust contains iron, titanium, silicon, aluminium, and water. These are the core resources. We can actually manually, or not manually, but use the drones to harvest these. To do that, we go into the excavation mode, and we can assign up to 4 drones. So we're just going to put 2 drones on here, and that is going to just get the iron that we need. Come over to the other side and do the same with the silicon,
Objective
and that
achieved.
is going to do the same thing. Also, if you remember in the tutorial, we can open up this area by just setting all of this, and then the drone will go and clear this space, because at the moment we're working in a very limited space. So we have some lights down here. All of the electricity creates lights, so we can see a little bit as we create this power network. We've got a bit of space to see, but as we start going further out and further afield, it gets darker and darker. So as you can see here, we need to start expanding. All right, let's unpause. Fe, which is the iron, and then Si, silicon. So we've got silicon and iron, which is what we need.
You can now watch mining drones extract the oxides, and working drones deliver them to the smelting furnace.
Okay, so what's happening right now is the mining drones here, they're going to create these little pools. And then this one is going to come and pick up this.
You can adjust the game speed by selecting the desired speed using the interface or the hotkeys 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, we know about that. And then they're going to deliver this to this machine. So now we have iron oxide in this machine. Iron oxide is going to be turned into steel. So the smelting furnace, as you can see here, takes 10 power when it's working. It's not taking any power at the moment. Now it's got enough in here. It's taking 10 power and 1 CPU. And it is going to produce. So 9 iron oxide creates 3 steel per minute. Right. So this is a way for us to be able to create both steel and also silicon. All right, we're going to speed up time to make this go a bit faster, so we can see this working. So again, 2 mining drones up here, 2 up here, and then another one which is just clearing this area. We need more silicon at the moment than steel, so we could, if we wanted to, remove one from here and actually place it in here instead. It will then move one across. We'll get more silicon now. It's exactly the same, 9 and 3, 9 and 3, but this is steel beams and this is silicon rods. All right, that's going to be completed. So we now have some silicon.
Director, you can never have too much smart concrete, so it's worth spending time to produce it. For this purpose, we have a pressing module, which may not be the most efficient way, but it's good enough to start with. The pressing module requires only regolith, which is a type of lunar dirt plentiful here. Assign mining drones to the evacuation so that we have the resources we need. Free drones will deliver the regolith to production themselves.
Okay, so I've just put 1 on each of these now, and 3 are going to be doing the excavation. Every time they excavate, they leave a little bit of dirt here, as you can see, and then they're going to come and pick these up. The dirt is being put into this storage. This is a raw So this is bulk research. This is bulk resource storage. It's raw resources. So any raw resources can be put into here.
Director, here's the latest news regarding contracts. To resume shipments to Earth, we'll need to restore communication and significantly expand production. If we manage this in the near term, I'll negotiate an extremely lucrative contract with the aerospace company FASM. They've lost their supplier and are willing to pay generously for an urgent order. I'm still looking into the matter, but be prepared to devote all resources to this effort if you want to maximize the benefits. I'll return as soon as new information becomes available.
Okay. So this raw resource using a conveyor belt goes into this press. This is just regolith and it makes bricks or smart concrete. So exactly the same as before. 10 creates 2 in a minute. So we just need to make 35 of these. So not only are we expanding the area, but we're taking the resources and we're producing smart concrete from the dust. This is now giving us our resources, as we can see here. Not only are we gathering all of these core materials, with a little bit of extra, we've got a bit of titanium and a bit of aluminium as a byproduct. But also we've got bricks, we've got steel, and we've got silicon. This is what we're going to need to get to the next stage.
Objective achieved.
Well, that's a start. There should be enough smart concrete for the first time.
Okay. So we've currently got everything that we need.
Director, we have a message on the emergency channel. I'll put it on the screen.
Attention. This is Arthur Moore, commander of the Hope 2 orbital station. The station has sustained severe damage from multiple collisions. We have lost key control modules. A hard moon landing will occur in the coming weeks. Request assistance from anyone who hears this message. All crew members are ordered to take shelter in Block 4. I repeat.
The debris from the meteorite impact must have gotten Hope 2. I'm already contacting Crust to report it.
Director, my name is Clyde Draper, and I lead the Crust search and rescue operation. We are aware of the situation with Hope 2, and are already developing an evacuation plan. There's still a chance to restore resource mining and production at your facility, and it's in our mutual interest for you to assist us. We need a place to accommodate the rescued crew, and your base is the most suitable candidate for this. Crust will provide you with the necessary equipment and scientific resources to carry out the assigned tasks.
Okay.
With all due respect, Director, I do not share your doubts. People are in danger, and if it's in our power to help them, we must do so.
With all due respect, Alice, altruism has clouded your judgment. Crust is clearly asking for grant aid that we cannot afford right now. I suggest we focus on restoring production and resuming shipments to Earth, where resources are urgently needed right now. Also, I've negotiated a prepayment with FASM. We can use their funds if we start reestablishing the contract system now.
All you care about is profit. If that's the case, think of the technology Crust will provide. It's worth as much as our base in its current state.
Do we pay a fair price for their technology? Don't forget, Director, by accepting Crust's offer, we will allow them to decide how our base is developed. We'll have to focus on the construction of the living quarters and postpone the expansion of high-tech manufacturing and investigation of the meteorite case.
Crust is going to accommodate the surviving Hope 2 crew members at your base in exchange for equipment and technologies for us to carry out a rescue mission. If you accept Crust's offer, you will lose access to the FASM contract, for which the corporation is willing to pay upfront.
All right, so this enters into a new element of the game, which is you have to work on and focus on choices that need to be made. And so there's a lot of diplomacy. In this instance, we have to decide if we're going to accommodate the crew at our base or whether we focus on restoring the supply deliveries to Earth. And if we hover over each of these, it'll tell you this is normal difficulty, this is high difficulty. This is still a work in progress in early access, but basically, if we do normal difficulty, we'll get 100,000 credits and access to the contract system. Otherwise, we don't get the contract system, we don't get the money, we get a few research points that we can use, but that is it. Now, for the purpose of this playthrough, we're going to just go for normal difficulty. And we are going to focus on restoring supply deliveries to Earth.
I hear you. Crust is capable of organizing a rescue operation independently, but the explosion damaged the system for communicating with the nearest facilities. You need communication for full operations on the moon, and we need it to rescue the crew of Hope 2. Your base is the closest to the repeater, and we can provide the equipment for the repairs. It's a mutually beneficial proposal, Director, but I understand if you want to discuss it with your colleagues again.
If we decide to resume supplying, we'll need to interact with others to share the resources, and to do so, we have to establish communication.
Fixing a repeater is no big deal, but the Crust equipment isn't just lying around. We've already been offered it twice. There may not be a third time.
Crust is requesting your assistance in restoring the communication system on the moon in exchange for equipment to perform work on the transponder.
All right.
Pleasure doing business with you. We'll send you the Rover Scout and the coordinates for the repeater shortly.
Don't call me cynical, but the best we can do under the current circumstances is try to salvage the equipment that miraculously survived.
Well, let's not waste any time. Professor, you prepared a research plan before starting the expedition, didn't you?
Absolutely. First, we need to increase production. We have smelting furnaces, but we need extractors and refineries to extract the oxides.
Okay.
Director, research underground mining and place 2 extractors on the iron and silicon veins.
All right. So now we've been given access to what is known as Science Division on Earth. We get plus 100 research points. We have 400 days of this. So we need to select research. We can click on the research tree in the bottom right hand corner. And this gives us access to a research tree. Now there's 3 different types here. There's fundamental, which is blue, engineering, which is orange, and social, which is green. We'll talk more about this in a moment. But for now, we need to click on engineering. We already have the regolith pressing, and we already have the smelting furnace because we're using them. So we need underground mining, and then we need the regolith refinery. This is going to unlock both of these. It takes 1 day to research each of these using the points that we have. All right, so we can speed up time. We can see the research in the bottom right-hand corner here. We're going to wait for that to complete. And at this stage, we can see here that we have steel. We can also see here that we have silicon, but these are nearly full. And we're about to hit capacity. So we can go into construction mode, storage, and we can get some general storage. This is going to allow us just to be able to put down some general storage right in front here by the elevator. So what we're going to do is just place this to the side here, like so,
Research complete.
and put it down. There's going to be a cost to build it. It's not very much, just a bit of concrete and a bit of steel. But any excess will now go into here. Also, that research has now been completed, and we can build the extractors and we can put them onto the veins. So, construction mode, mining, extractor. Now, as we go to place these, the thing you'll notice is it says cells overlapped. The back of the refinery has 9 cells, a grid of 3 by 3. All of those cells need to be over the node. So you can see when you're
You can't build here.
not able to build, when you get all of them in place, you can then put this down. At the front, you'll see there's an exit. The exit is marked by green and there's an arrow and it shows you what comes out. So we're going to place this down.
Don't forget that extractors need electricity. Hold down shift to build a chain of utility poles.
Okay. So there's the first one. We now need to do power, but before we do that, we're going to control and C, come over to the other side here, press R to rotate, and we'll put this in here. And now we need to do power to both of these. Also, at the same time, if we go into our mining, we want to set a high priority for this to clear this area. And also, we just want to clear a little bit here as well. Kind of make it a bit easier for us to get out. All right. Right-clicking, we can access a quick menu. So this is the mining tab. This is the priority settings, wires, and it will be conveyors later. So go to wires from here. We're just going to set that to here. And from the other side, we'll go straight across here. So we'll click one. If you make a mistake, it's fine. What we've got to do is dismantle it. And then we can go again. So we'll come this way. All right, there we go. So we've now powered both of these. Also, we've completed the next set of research that we need to do. So, build 2 extractors, connect the extractors to the network. That was our job. And we've also done the underground mining, which is the extractor. And we are now working on the next one here, which is the regolith refinery. We can queue up different things that need to be done. For example, extractor upgrade, mining efficiency +1. We can start that so that once this research is finished, it will automatically start on the next one and we don't waste time. I'll leave that for now so you can see what happens. And this is going to build everything for us. We can see we have all of this additional storage now, just to be able to put some stuff from overflow. So we can get to the bricks, we can do the steel, and we can do the silicon there.
Research complete.
All right, there's no research selected. We've just done this one, which is the refinery.
Objective achieved.
I see in the data that the extractors have started mining. Now, finish the research and build 2 regolith refineries for producing iron and silicon, respectively. Director, place the regolith refineries similarly to optimize future production.
Okay. So what we now need to do, again, we can just pause this just to give us some time so we're not rushing. We need to go into construction. We need to go into production, and we have the smelting furnace now. So what is basically going to happen here is this is going to generate 20, because it's got power, it takes 12 power, 1 CPU, it's going to generate 20 regolith per minute. And it tells you the richness of that regolith. So it's going to 22% slag, 4% silicon, 9% aluminium, 7% titanium, and 58% iron. That is going to come out of here. And it means that now the drones that we had that were working on that vein, remember before we were able to select them by going into excavation mode and we could select them to work on the vein? They're no longer needed, which means now we have 5 mining drones, and all 5 of them now are going to be over here working on this, just expanding this area for us. So because of that, what we're going to do is go into excavation mode, and we're just going to build out a nice square. So holding down the left mouse button, you can use W, A, S, and D to go in nice straight lines, just to keep everything nice and clean for you. And what we're trying to do at the moment is just create a nice square. It's going to be nice and open, all the way down to here. We can come across. And then from here, we can come all the way down. Now, if you go over a little bit, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfect. It depends on how bad your OCD is going to be. For me, this is good. So again, we're going to open up all this area here on the side. And then from here, we want to do the same thing. We're going to come all the way down here. And here, we're going to come all the way across. So again, it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. And this is going to open up this whole area and give us a nice square to work from. So you can kind of get a feel of that and how that looks there. All right, so we'll let that do its job. That will just work in the background. We need to build these 2 refineries. So construction mode, production, smelting furnace. And we need to press R to rotate these, because what's going to happen is we're going to place these. Nope, sorry. We don't want that. I apologize. We want the Regolith refinery. Regolith refinery, sorry. All right, so we've got the Regolith's going to come in through the top there. So anything that is kind of orange is an input. Anything that is green is an output. So what we can see here, we want to try and kind of line this up for the future with this. You can kind of see on the grid there where we're going to place it. We're going to place this just here. It doesn't really matter exactly where it goes, but we're going to place it right here like so. We're going to control and see.
Regolith refinery extracts the necessary oxides from the regolith by thermal treatment. The process leaves slag that can also be used in production.
Perfect. So we're going to have regolith coming in. We're going to get a byproduct, which is going to be slag. And then we're going to get the oxide that comes out of there. All right, let's continue to play. And both of these are now going to be built. We'll just speed things up to make it a bit quicker, so they get built quicker. So looking at what they need, silicon, concrete, and steel, which we have enough of, because we're producing it. Excellent, they're both now built.
Objective achieved.
The single regolith refinery is a monorefinery that can only produce one type of oxide at a time. Be sure to select the recipes for iron and silicon oxide to start production.
All right, so this one's going to be, because it's near the iron node, we're going to make sure this one is iron. And this one is going to be silicon. So it's going to take in regolith. 2 regolith comes in, 1 slag comes out, and 1 oxide comes out, silicon oxide. The other side, exactly the same, but instead of silicon, it's going to be iron oxide. We need to connect them up to the power grid.
Objective achieved.
Director, a conveyor belt will speed up production and eliminate the need for drones in resource delivery. I advise you to keep an eye on this technology.
All right, so we're going to make conveyor belts now. So 1.6 days, we'll get that working.
You heard him, Director. Now we have a steel production chain, but we can increase its efficiency by connecting the modules with conveyor belts. It will reduce the load for drones and speed up production. Exactly what we need right now.
Excellent. Exactly what we need right now. So we can see the next thing that we need to do here. Right, so just to check on the research here, we can see the conveyor belt is going to take a little bit more time, so we'll just wait for that. We can also start queuing up the next thing to have it ready. This is going to take 4.5 days. It's called geophysical prospecting. It'll give us an ore detector. Now, the game's not telling us to do this yet, but it makes sense for us to start because you always want research to be going in the background. We only have access to these points at the moment. So going back into the research tree, you'll see here we've got the fundamental tab. There's no production and consumption. Here, the income is science division on Earth. We've got plus 100 points. We've got that for the next 400 days. And no green at the moment either. So, knowing that we have these two set up and working, we now need the conveyor belt. We'll speed up time just to make it go a little bit quicker, just so we can get that. And then we're going to automate the iron and the silicon production. And we'll do that with the conveyor belts once it's built.
Research complete.
All right, research is complete.
Use the conveyor tool and connect the extractor to the refinery and smelting furnace. This way, the resource-rich regolith will go into the refinery without needing to engage drones. Optimization at its best.
All right, so all we do is click there. That's going to set up. Then from the output, we'll go from here across into here. We'll do the same the other way. We've cleared a lot of space now. Now, if you don't want it to go this way, we could bring it along the top here instead. Just looking at where it needs to go. So what we could do is we could click there, and then we can click again to finish it off the rest of the way. And then from the output, we'll click on there. It'll always try and figure out the right way to go. But it can go either way. So it will normally go from first click to second. unless it can't go another way. Once it's done, it will tell you how much it's going to cost. Now, it does cost credits. So electric and conveyor belts cost credits. So 23,000 credits. But we're going to build all.
Objective achieved.
And that's now done.
Director, we managed to send the research rover scout. It's essential for your mission. Examine the satellite repeater and activate it by any means possible. Mr. Ratchet will help you sort out the controls. You're free to use data that will help the mission. Some of it will expedite the research. Professor Wilfrey knows what to do with it. However, remember that all ship logs, crew records, and other materials related to the incident are the property of Crust. Your company has no authority to examine this information.
Sir, yes, sir. All right.
Did you hear? Crust put you in charge of the new toy. Don't mess it up. They won't give us another one.
Okay.
I wouldn't laugh at that if I were you. We're sending an expensive machine off base where the satellite link doesn't work. If we lose it, well... Anyway, Director, let's get back to work. Land the cargo pod with the rover and we'll continue.
Alright, so just before we do that, let's talk about what just happened here, because we've just finished one game loop, and it's quite an important one to master and to understand. So, if we were to click up here, on at the extractor, we can see that we are using 12 power, 1 CPU. This is when it needs repairing, so when this breaks, we'll need 1 brick to repair it. Okay, we have to manually do that at the moment. We can automate that process later. This would turn the machine on or off. This would destroy the machine. This left and right mouse button chooses the priority of the drones to access this. Drone maintenance shows whether it is allowed to take resources out of it or not. And the conveyor belt shows the settings, and we can lock this if we need to. So that's the main functions. Production-wise, we can see it's working because the cog is turning. It is making 20 regolith per minute. We can see the efficiency, the average and the total efficiency, and we can see the regolith richness. So we know that this is the majority of this is iron coming out of here. Now, as this comes down the conveyor belt will push at 60 units per minute. Now, we only have 20 coming out of here at the moment. So if you played Satisfactory, it's not quite the same as when you load balance. We'll be using kind of the manifold system later. If you remember how I played that game, we'll talk about that in detail. But for now, this is pushing down into here, into this machine. So now this machine requires 20 per minute. So we know that we have 20 per minute coming out of here, and we have 20 per minute coming in here. So this is 100% so far. That is going to create 6.6 units of slag and 1.6 units of iron. The rest of it will be lost. We are going to lose the silicon, aluminium, the titanium, and the iron. This is a very inefficient system. We're losing a lot of material. But it is going to create the slag. So what we can do is, as we see, there's 2 outputs. The first output is going to be the iron that comes out. The second one is going to be the slag that comes out. Now we can create a conveyor belt here that goes from here to here. This is the input of slag. That means that we can daisy chain these together. We can go ahead and build that now. And now all of the slag that comes out of here will come across. If that builds up and it gets to a point where there's too much in here, the machine will stop. So now this machine will continuously run until this node runs out of material. There is 19,652 units. So once that's been processed, that will dry up. We'll have to move all of that. So don't get too tied to this. This is not a permanent solution. The ore is limited. Once that comes out of here at 20, we can see we're going to get 1.6 coming out of here at the moment. And that's going to change in a minute. We'll see that. But then we need an input. So input of 9 per minute will give us 3 steel. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and run this so we can watch it come through before we continue. The exact same thing's happening on this side, but this is for silicon. So 20 coming out. Again, 20 coming in. This is going to give us 6.6 and 9.6. So this is going to give us 9.6. This is now going to give us 11.6. It's kind of updated. So now we're getting 11.6, of which you can see the output here is the iron oxide is coming out and the slag is coming across. So this is going to double up in slag. What that means is we need to store this. So what we're going to do is construction mode, storage, we're going to make a bulk resource storage, and we're going to put that right on the side here. In order to do this, what's going to happen...
You can't build here.
Oh, it says we can't build here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into excavation mode. We're going to go emergency, or not emergency, but high priority. And we'll set that, and all of the drones are going to come over and just clear this area for us. So we'll just get that cleared. And then that means we can now come back here, storage, and we can put this down. So we want to put this just here. And then we want a conveyor belt, so we can right-click conveyor belt. And we'll go from the output here into storage. We'll build that. And then the slag is going to come out of here and go into here. Now, this takes a component. We don't have many components, and we're not producing any at the moment. Also, we don't have many titanium plates, and we're not producing any at the moment. So we don't want to make too many of these. But we will make this one, just so that we have this. We need to select the resource, and it's going to be the slag, which is the constructed byproduct. All right, so now that's working. That will build. And then we're going to have this build up. We'll use this later. Also, we have all of the regolith that is not being used coming into here, and that is going through and creating the bricks that we had earlier. Now, as you can see here, we're actually creating more regolith than we are bricks. So we haven't got enough bricks at the moment. So what we can do is we can actually control and see, and we can build another one of these.
You can't build here.
Now, in order to do that, we obviously just need to choose where we're going to build. There's no right or wrong way to do this, but what we're going to do right now is we're just going to put this down here, like so. Now, this is going to cross 1 component and 6 steel, but we're making steel, so that's okay. We'll get the conveyor belt, and we're going to connect this up, and we're going to build it. And then finally, we're going to go back to storage, construction mode storage, and this time we're going to make a single resource storage. A single resource storage. And we're going to place this just here. It's a bit tight, but it does fit. Now, there's a different way we can do this. If we don't want to put this here, we can move it. It doesn't actually matter where it goes, to be honest. We just need to make it so it works, so it's clean. So, what we're going to have is, and we'll just show you this now. Storage, single unit. We kind of want to get it here if we can. This is the best place for us to put it. And the reason for this is if we do this, again, I'm just doing it again now. Conveyor belt comes out of here, along the side and into there. Conveyor belt comes out of here, down here, and into there. This is input or output. It can be either. But we're going in. So another 4,500 credits. And what we've got now, if we just connect up the power to this, we'll just go ahead and give that power. Now, this is being split into 2. Half is going into here to make bricks, and half is going into here to make bricks. Both of the outputs is putting the bricks into here. We just need to select bricks as a resource. It'll put it on top. And now resources, we can see, are going to be stacked up on here. This is instead of using this. We've still got this, but we don't need the bricks, the smart concrete on here anymore. So it's going to put it on there instead. All right, and then looking on here, we can see we have 11.6 coming out, 9 coming in, and that means we're making steel. So now we've automated steel production. We've automated silicon production, so that's now working. All of the excess slag is being stored, and the bricks are now being done as well. So now we've got this kind of effective game loop that works. And we're making smart concrete, we're making steel, and we're making silicon. And we've got all of the basic resources as well in abundance. So for now, we're in a really strong place. What we need to do before we continue is have a look at the battery. Now we can see the max consumption of everything here is 91. Max consumption is 91. We only have an output of 50. That means that before we continue or do anything else, we need more batteries. We'd need another 5 batteries just to be able to cope during the night. So what we're going to do is we're going to control and C, and we're going to build these. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And we'll put one more in just so we've got the extra. We're making a nice little grid here. All right, we'll go ahead and connect these up. Now, the good thing about this is we're going to have the resources to be able to make these. So they require silicon, which we're making, steel, which we're making, and smart concrete, which we're making. So batteries, we can continue to make those. It's not a problem. Now, what we also need to do is consider, are we going to have enough charge in the battery because of the solar panels? So if we look at the solar panels and what they take, same thing, bricks, silicon, and we've got enough to do this. So we're just going to put another row of solar panels down as well, just to help charge up these batteries. In fact, we probably need more solar panels than batteries right now, and we have enough of this being made. So let's just go and make 2 lines of this. All right, so now we've got 3 lines of these, which is perfect for us to start with. We'll get the wire tool, and we're just going to connect these up. And we're going to snake them like so. All right, everything's connected to the same network. Everything's working. Great. Research is complete. That is the ore detector done. No research is selected. So let's get the next thing on the go because we need to get it working. Again, from engineering tab, we can do hard rock drilling. That's another thing that we can start to work on. It's going to take 30 days. Things start to get a lot harder and a lot longer. And that's okay. That's not a problem at all. We can do that. We just need to bear in mind that it's going to take some time. So we'll just leave that ticking off in the background. We can actually do other things as well. If you can see here, some of these things, for example, this one, this requires both blue and orange. So both fundamental and engineering. This is the automatic repair. If we have this, the drones will repair things if they break automatically, so we don't have to go and manually do it. Also, we want to get the drone upgrade. So that's another one that we want to make. And we also want to make medium solar panels. So we can start queuing these up, and we can even change them to choose which ones are more important. Now, because this one is only blue, you can see that the orange is going to start working wherever it needs to. So that's fine. We're not doing anything in social right now, but we can also queue up the license for the tender system as well. And that way we've got this one which is green, this one which is blue, this one which is yellow or orange and blue, and that one's blue as well. So everything that we need is there. We need to get this cargo pod down though. So we've done everything we need to do now. We're almost at the end of the day cycle. We're going to go into night. And again, we don't have any batteries at the moment. So we've got 70 capacity, but max consumption is 91. So if we head down, we do not need to use this. So we can turn this off and save ourselves 3 power. That means we only need 88 max consumption now, which is good. 88 max consumption is going to help. Also, this takes 14 to have both of these. And also, there's no reglyph in there at the moment. So we can turn one of these off. We've set it up, but we don't need this additional one at the moment. This brings us down to 74. Well, we're 80 at the moment. So our capacity at the moment for our batteries is more than the max consumption. So when the night cycle comes, we're going to be okay. So again, we can turn these on and off as we need. Everything else we're going to leave on for the moment because everything else we're kind of using right now. But this just shows you how we can kind of manage things and set them up. All right, let's head to the top now. We've covered that. Cargo pod is ready. We're going to left click and we're going to drop it down. Doesn't matter where, just drop it down anywhere and it will land. Animations look amazing. Graphics are really good. Voiceovers, storyline, really good.
Horizon 6. Almost everything has been modified. Only the hull is original. There's serious hardware there. Even Crust doesn't have much like it. Send it off base and see what we can find with it.
Okay, so all we need to do is select this and then click leave the base. Right, the scientific potential depends on the rover's location. Prolonged stay in one area decreases its scientific potential. So keep it moving and we will keep both blue and orange research points. All right, so that's going to leave the base. We've got the power coming in. We've got 110 capacity now, which is good. And also, we've got the solar panels. Whilst it is getting late, those should hopefully give enough charge to keep this going. All right, so now we're up to 180 points because we've got our rover as well. Oh, it's just gone down again. But as we're moving the rover, we can now switch to the global map down here. So we've talked about the subsurface level and the surface level. Now we're going to look at the third tier, which is the orbit.
Crust has sent the coordinates of the repeater. Let's send the rover there and try to deal with that piece of junk.
All right, so very easy.
Colleagues, I'll remind you that we already received payment for the FASM contract, but haven't started fulfilling it yet. We need to hurry up to avoid damaging our reputation as a reliable supplier.
Okay.
In this case, we need to research and build a landing platform.
Okay. So now we can see we have things to do. We have to research the landing platform. Also,
Director, I consider it my duty to remind you that lunar research is divided into 3 main fields: fundamental, engineering, and social. Each laboratory is capable of conducting independent research, but studying certain technologies may require the cooperation of multiple fields. All available research is grouped into 3 main directions: fundamental, engineering, and social. Fundamental research is responsible for logistics and communication with other organizations, as well as drone improvements. Engineering research helps develop mining and production. Social research ensures that colonists at the base live and work comfortably.
all right.
Some research requires multiple types of science points at once. You can assign tasks in different sections, and then the research plan will be conducted in parallel. The speed of research depends on your science points income. You can always rearrange your research to actualize the priorities for your current goals.
Very good introduction and video tutorial. And we can see everything that we've got going on here. So we need a landing platform. So we're going to put that at the top because it's important for us. They've told us to do this. Landing platform needs blue. We don't have any blue yet. So you can see the orange is working on the automatic repair and the green one is working on the license for the tender system. Hasn't told us to do any of this, but we're going to start doing it. So we've always got something working. All right, we need to examine the repeater. Multiple ways we can do this. The first, we can click on the repeater and set an expedition. The second, we can click on the rover and click set up an expedition. Either way, it's going to bring us to this screen. If we click on the rover, then the rover is going to be selected from the list. If we click on here, then the repeater is going to be selected from the list. We need to select both the scout and the location and then investigate. That is it. It is on its way. It's got 12 days to get there, so we're going to leave it to do its thing. That's going to head over. In the meantime, we can come back to the surface. It's nighttime here. We can see that we've got enough battery to last for 6 days. So we're not going to make it through the night at the moment. We don't have enough power at the moment to get through the night. And that is because our output capacity is only 60. The reason for that, we didn't put enough charge in all of the batteries. Our max consumption is 74 at the moment, which means we don't have enough power to run everything. Which means if we look down here, this, because it's got this icon, the battery output is 60, the required is 74, so it's actually turned off these 2 machines. They're not working right now. So everything else is working. We could turn off the brick if we want to. And if we turned off the brick, we'd be able to turn off some of the other machines. So now the max consumption is 60, the battery is only 50, but this one's now working. So again, if we wanted to conserve the battery, we can just turn off production for the night, just until the next day cycle. It does mean that we're going to stunt production a little bit, but it does mean we're going to save a little bit of battery now. So we've got 8 days left. Again, remember we have 14 days of night. We have to consider that. We can see the date. We're in the year 2080, the time. So yeah, just bearing that in mind. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're researching the landing platform. We're getting some, this because the rover's moving, so we're getting some plus for the rover moving. Some plus for this rover moving as well, and the contract system is giving us some here. So we have all of this, which means the landing platform is now working. It's going to take 20 days, or 15 now, because it's gone up a bit. The automatic repair is going to take some time as well. and then the license for the tender system. All right, so everything's working. We'll speed up time because there's nothing else we can do at the moment. We just need to wait. Now, we may as well keep a few of the bricks working so we can at least get some bricks going. We've got some bricks, some steel and some silicon. We can turn all of these back on. It actually doesn't matter. And there's not enough power. It will automatically just start to shut them down to preserve the battery. And that's okay. We can do that in a moment. All we're doing now is waiting for day.
It looks like the Rover has run out of power. Now, it couldn't beat a turtle in a race, and until the sun is up again, there's nothing we can do about it.
So we just need to wait for the day.
The Rover is solar powered, and as soon as the sun goes down, it starts using energy from its batteries. Keep this in mind when planning long-distance expeditions.
All right, so again, we just need to wait now for daytime. There's nothing else we can do at this stage. So the good thing is this is still going to populate with regolith. This is still working. It's going to push this up, so this is going to be full. That will push through. If we wanted to, we can kind of just pause this. But there's no point at the moment. We're just going to wait for daytime. That's all we need to do. So just kind of stuck at the moment, waiting just for a little bit of time. But you can just kind of get used to everything that we've got going on here. Obviously, we're still digging out this. These are working. The good thing about these is they're going to be using the charger, so we can actually put another charger down if we need to.
Director, our energy reserves are almost at zero. The moon has a long day-night cycle. Make sure we have enough solar panels to charge the batteries during the solar phase. In the event of an urgent power shortage, modules with low priority are the first to be disconnected from the network. You can manually disable modules that are not needed at the moment to optimize consumption.
Research complete.
All right, so we just talked about that. Now, we are wasting science points, and that is because we have this, but we're not doing anything with it. So we want to make sure that we are utilizing the automatic repair. We'll do the drone upgrade because we need to get that as well. We can do excavation speed, so we can get that one going. Engineering, we've done everything on the top level at the moment. But we can see the stuff that we want here. We also need a green. We don't have any green going through at the moment. So this automatic repair, we're waiting on the blue, but we've got the landing platform for that. So we'll just close that down for a minute. We'll close that one down for a minute. And instead, we're going to work on something that's green. So go to social. We've done the license for the tender system. Now we can do the online market. So we can open up that. Now, we don't need this yet. We don't need it for a while, but we can open it early. It's because there's nothing else for us to do. Right, we have 4 days to examine the repeater. A bit of a shame that it's nighttime at the moment, but it should be daytime soon. And then this will be able to continue on its journey. So 3 days left. Now, just because it's nighttime here, if we look out here, it will become daytime sooner over here. Because it will open up, and you'll see this in a minute. So we're going to just keep watching this for now. We have 2 days left to examine the repeater. And again, just watching at the moment, there's nothing else we can do at this stage.
Objective achieved.
Director, Crust could prove to be valuable allies if we play by their rules. If not, it's better for us not to test their patience.
All right, so unfortunately, it took us a bit longer to get over there. So we can always look in our journal at what we've got here in our quest log. So that was 1,000,000 opportunities, but we didn't actually get to do anything on that because we didn't make it in time when we needed to. So we're still on our way there. This one, we've got to do this as well, but we haven't done it yet. So we need to report on the state of this. So nothing's been completed, nothing's been failed at the moment, but we do need to get over there. And as you can see, we're kind of stuck at the moment waiting for daytime. So it's a good example of what happens. Now it's becoming light. Everything will turn back on. Out here, you'll see this will start to get some power. So look, you can see the light coming across. All right, batteries are discharged on this, so it will start to get some sun in a minute. And then when it does, it will continue in its journey. So, all right, checking everything else out here. That's on its way now. So we can see this is working. And it will charge up the battery at the same time. We need to research the landing platform still. That's not going to take too much longer now because we're getting a lot from the rover. So only 3 days now to be able to finish this, which is good. We've got no orange going at the moment though, so that's something we can work on in engineering. And we'll do the hard rock drilling, which was the next one we wanted to look at. Okay, we can now turn on these modules that are offline.
Director, it will be extremely difficult to fully reactivate the repeater under the current circumstances. It will still serve our mission, but it is no longer connected to Earth. We extracted the necessary data, but I'd suggest holding off on reporting it to Crust. It's full of valuable resources that would come in handy at our base.
Mr. Ratchet, are you out of your mind? You're going to go behind Crust's back, and this rover isn't even capable of carrying cargo.
We'll report the data we found after retrieving the surviving resources. Crust doesn't necessarily need to know they existed. For delivery, let's try to fix this piece of scrap metal, Pathfinder 3B. It's an outdated model, but it has increased maneuverability and payload capacity. Just what we need.
So do we report the resources to Crust or do we claim them from ourselves? I think given the fact that we are struggling at the moment, I know it's an integrity thing and maybe we should do this, but we're going to go ahead and claim the resources for ourselves.
Excellent. Crust has enough on their plate. Let's not bother them unnecessarily. Send the drones to repair the cargo truck when they have enough materials.
All right, so we need 2 components. We can see that we've got those. We also need 45 steel. At the moment, we only have 36 steel. So we're just going to wait until we've got enough steel, and we can continue that. So we need to report on the status of the repeater. We can't do that yet. We still need to research and build a landing platform. And now we need to repair this truck. We've also got 2 modules. There's one inside that needs repairing as well. This we can repair because it's just 1 piece of steel to do that. The module outside, we can't do anything with yet. Also, if we look out here, we can take the idle rover now that has done its job, and we can send it on for another expedition. So if we look at the expedition, we can see that there's a few things here. There's a demolished structure, private lab, temporary shelter, and a control tower. Select the expedition, we can go to any of these. Well, the control tower is nearest to us, so we're going to go ahead and click on that and investigate it. So we're using the drone. So now we've got the top level where we're using the rover. Once we've done that, we can come back down off the global map to the surface level here, where we can make sure we're keeping an eye on our steel that we need to produce. And then on the bottom level, there's 2 modules. So there's another module here that needs repairing as well. And again, we have to manually do these at the moment until that research completes. So we're doing our research. We're doing everything on the top level. We're making sure that this is, again, at 43. As soon as that gets to 45, this will enable. And then we'll be able to fix this. And we'll then have a cargo rover that we can send out. There we go. So we're going to repair that now as well. So as you can see, multiple layers, lots going on. Quite easy to get overwhelmed. But at the moment, we've kind of learned the basics. Now, the scout has just arrived at that control tower. So it says, in the middle of a barren landscape stands the control tower. Emergency boxes are empty. The only interesting thing was some control computers, which have given us plus 200 blue, plus 60 orange, and plus 60 green for the next 60 days. So we're getting a lot more now, which means, as a result, if we go into our research, we're going to be pushing out research really quickly, which is good. We're getting that boost to be able to do that. So we want to make the most of that boost. We want to make sure that we're really getting all of these base level things completed. So what's next? What do we need? Well, we need the automatic repair. That's one that we want. So let's send that up. that is going to be more important at the moment than the medium solar panels. We don't really need the medium solar panels at this stage. It's nice to have them, but not important at the moment. Instead, what we really need is the drone upgrade. That will be good for us. We can send this up. So the drone upgrade is blue. The automatic repair is blue and orange, but it's completed the orange part already. So we're just waiting on the blue at the moment. So 3,250 there, then 1,350 here. So we'll get those done. And in the meantime, it's still fulfilling other areas. So we're doing the hard rock and we're also doing the online market. So we're continuing to make sure that that works. All right. We can also now build a landing platform. So we have the facility to do that. So we're going to construction mode, logistics. We have a landing platform and we can go ahead and we can put this down. So I think we're going to put it right here. So it's close to this elevator. We'll come out the elevator and we've got this landing platform right here. So that'll be a good place for it to go. We have another module that needs repairing, so we can repair that. And now the rover, we can send it out to do another thing. Now something that we can do while we're here is what is called locate hidden objects. If we click this, it's going to scan for anything that could potentially be in the area. And you'll see anything where there could be something because it shows up. If I just do this fast, you'll see it like that. I can click on this, right click, and I can move. It will now move manually to this location, or I can perform another scan. And I can keep doing that until I find the thing that is hidden here. So something's going to be hidden around here. That is going to open up a side quest or a part of the story, something we need to do. Again, that is locating the hidden object. So that is a scan that we can do. So we're going to do that right now. We'll speed this up a little bit. And we're going to do another scan as soon as we get to that area. So still need to go further in that direction. So we'll keep going.
Ready to get started. This contract will help us establish ourselves as a reliable business partner. So it's important to perform at our very best. Director, now I'll explain the basic principles of working with the Logistics Management Center and the Contracts Exchange.
Oh, come out of this.
At the top of the screen are the main categories of the Control Center. We're looking for the Contracts category.
Yep.
You're now in the Contracts tab, where you can see all available, active, and completed contracts.
Okay.
The left column shows the factions that issue contracts. Click on a faction name in the Active tab. In the center is information about the faction and its contracts. Now select the active contract. This window provides all the information you need about the selected contract. Here you can track its status, accept or cancel contracts, and send resources. Please take a look at it and click Send Resources when you're ready.
Okay, now, so what we can see here. If I go to Available, there's nothing here. Active, we've got one of two. We can increase this later by researching it. FASM is one of the groups. We can see them here, our reputation with them. We have a 60-day window to get a bonus. We're going to get an extra 10,000 credits, which is quite big at the start. We have an infinite timeline to complete this. But if we do it in the first 60 days, we're going to get this bonus. We're also going to get, for 90 days, 100 points in our research. We're also going to build up relations and reputation, which is good to know. But we need 25 titanium plates, and we only have 6 of them. So we don't have enough titanium plates at the moment. We can click on Send Resources.
You have entered the Logistics interface. On the left side of the screen is a list of required resources, which you fill in from your base's supplies. On the right side of the screen is the shipment configuration. You can modify the contract, capsule type, and landing location.
All right, so we've clicked on a contract. We've clicked Send.
In the lower right corner, next to the Send button, you will see a list of actions required to successfully complete the contract. This is how you'll know if something in the configuration needs to be changed. Fill the capsule with the required resources, click Send, and wait for the contract to be completed.
Okay, so we click on this. We can see we've only got 6 plates. We need more, so we are minus 19 plates. All right, we can see this is going to be 500 tons in total. So we can change the cargo pod. There's 3 available, standard, faster, or larger. Both 20 days. This is 3, 6, and 9,000 tons. So we only need the standard at the moment. There's a different price. It costs us to send it, so we have to pay to send it. So obviously, bearing in mind there's an additional cost there. At the moment, We can see the landing site. We only have the one available. So from that landing pad with that cargo, we're going to send these amount of titanium plates. Everything there is good. It's going to cost us 1,400. That's our cost. So we can go ahead and send that. Now, it's not going to be able to finish this at the moment. So if I come out of this tab, what you're going to see now is that, first of all, this is going to land, and then the drones are going to start filling it up. So we can see we need 25 here. We don't have enough for that. So, contracts. We're going to get 20,000 credits by finishing this. 30,000 if we do it within 60 days. So we need to get these plates. That's the first thing we need to do. We need to also fix this. So now we can click on repair because it has everything it needs to be able to do it. So we're going to click repair and we're going to repair this drone. Module needs repairing inside as well. So we're going to repair that. So now everything's being repaired. We're at 68% of our battery. We can see that we have a max consumption of 95. If we turn everything on, which it all is, that means 95 is our max consumption at the moment. And we know that we have 110, so we have more than enough, so we should be good. We also have a new contract available, which is this one. So we already know this, we're on it. So the contract is being done. We can click on the Rover to go out to this top area here, and we can redo that scan. And there it is, there's the area that we need to go to. I'll just do that again. There we go. So we click on the Rover, click on move, right click, click move. It's going to move in that general direction to whatever that is in that area. When we get close enough, we can do another scan. Once we do that, it's going to tell us there's a destroyed convoy here. So we can do an expedition. We select our scout to go to the destroyed convoy and investigate. It won't take long because we're already on top of it. Now you can see it's completing.
The convoy was transporting several tanks of liquefied fuel and a couple containers with various spare parts and electronic equipment. It seems that the vehicles were seriously damaged and buried under collapsed rock. You can immediately send a cargo truck to collect the easily accessible cargo, or you can try to break up the rubble with a rover. It will be necessary to send drones to excavate most of the cargo, but the operation to retrieve it might be risky.
All right, so we can do the easy accessible cargo. We can try and clear out the rubble with a rover, or we can send out drones. Well, we're going to send out some drones.
Drones will easily dismantle the scrap metal into useful components. The only thing left to do is assign an expedition so they can do the job.
Right, we need the cargo rover for that, and we don't have that yet. So that's something we'll come back to later. But for now, we can set up another expedition. So looking at where we are, we've already got that job there. We've got this job here. So this one, we need to take 2 drones or 2 robots. We need to send them there. We can't do that right now. So coming back to where we was, temporary shelter, private lab, demolished structure. We're going to set an expedition down here. We'll send a scout down, investigate. Now we're going to head down to this temporary shelter. So we're kind of doing a little loop at the moment around our base.
You might not think so by the look of this old guy, but the cargo truck has passed all the tests and is ready to go. Now send it to the repeater and pick up the resources we found.
All right, so same thing, cargo truck. We're going to click on the idle cargo truck and we're going to leave the base. First thing we need to do. Once it leaves the base, we can then set an expedition. We can send that off. So the scout needs to go and check stuff and the cargo can go and move stuff. Quite simple. So we're going to do that at the moment. So we'll speed this up, head out. It's night time again, but we have enough battery now for 18 days. So this will last for 18 days, which will get us through that 14-day cycle. Science points, we need to keep an eye on those. So we've done everything we can do here. We'll go to engineering and look at what's next. So we can start to work on the components factory. Again, just work on that orange tab. So we're not wasting our time. Speed things up. And at the moment, we're kind of good to go. We're just going to continue for a little bit longer. It's been about an hour and a half at the moment, so I appreciate we've spent a bit of time doing this. But for now, that kind of feels like a good start to the game. We've covered a lot in the last 90 minutes. We're going to do a little bit more in this video. But we're just going to see if we can finish off this first part. wait for daytime. The idle truck now is outside, so we can click on that. And now we can send that to the repeater. So if it's a minus, it needs resources. If it's a plus, you're collecting resources. The scout needs to go to the question marks, and the other rover can click on this area, set an expedition, and we're going to pick up 50 titanium, 140 plates, more than enough to be able to finish that first contract, which is great. 250 rare earth elements and 10 components. So really good because we need this. So we'll set the cargo truck to the repeater. We'll set the expedition settings, which is to fill all. So it will fill everything up, and then we'll send it back to base. Now, what we also need to do is send over 2 drones, but we're not going to get any drones from here. So all we can do is fill this, send it to base, and we'll send that off. Now what you'll see on the global view is the scout is heading down to the temporary shelter. The cargo is heading up to the repeater.
Complete.
And we cannot do anything with this destroyed cargo convoy just yet. We'll do that later. But that's nothing we can do just now. All right, research has been completed. Let's head back down so we're not wasting any science points. Again, back to social now. Checking out the fundamentals. We've done everything we can do here so far. Checking out engineering. There's nothing green. So social. We can come across and look at what's next. So we can extend the tender license. That means we can add 1 more contract. So we'll start on that to extend the tender license, which means we can do 3 contracts rather than 2. So we'll get that started. We don't need any of the living quarters at the moment. So we can leave that for now. So we need to complete this contract for FASM. We need to pick up the resources at the repeater, which we're on our way to do. We need to report on the status of the repeater, which we'll do in a minute. We've got enough battery. And if we look at our resources now, we've got enough concrete, steel, and silicon. We're producing quite a lot of that. So far, so good. We're researching. We're in a really good place right now. We're doing everything that we need to do. All right. So we're just going to wait. There's not really much else we can do at this stage. Everything else is kind of effective and doing its job. The steel is there. So this steel is not full yet, but this one almost is. This is almost full, so the silicon is almost full. This silicon is full. So what we can do is go to excavation mode, go to set priority as high. We can just clear out this area here as a high priority. What we can then do is go into construction mode, and here we can go to storage, single resource storage. Now we can put 1 down here at the bottom of the smelter. And then what we want to do is put another one down here, but we can't do that at the moment until we've cleared that space. So we're just going to wait for those drones. Now it's cleared. We'll put that down. We'll grab the conveyor belt, and we're going to conveyor, very simple, from the smelter to here. Same on this side, from the smelter to here. Oh, that one didn't work, so we'll just cancel that. We'll go from here to here, from here. Oh, all right, let's do one at a time. So from here to here. That's better. And from here to here. Build all. It's going to build up these parts. Again, it doesn't need much in terms of material. We're going to select the resource. This one is going to have silicon rods. And this one is going to have steel. So now we have 3 of these. We have the steel, we have the bricks, and we have the silicon, which is not ideal that the drones have to go so far to collect stuff. Not ideal they have to come down the elevator. We'll fix that later. But for now, we've completed these production lines and we can continue. So this is struggling at the moment. This is full. We've got excess here, which is good. We have to think about what's happening here. So again, 20 coming out. 20 coming in. 11 coming out. 9 going in. Meaning that we have too much for 1, but not enough for 2. So not really much we can do about it at the moment. We just have to wait. Research is complete. That is the drone upgrade, the oxide mining rate. So increases the speed of extraction mining drones when they're directly on the vein. We're not doing anything on the vein at the moment, so that's not really important. But we needed it. If we just come across to fundamental, we needed that to go alongside the automatic repair. So now if a machine breaks, we don't need to repair it. It will automatically repair itself, or the drone will go and repair it. But by completing these two, we've unlocked hauling drone. So by doing a hauling drone now, what that is going to allow us to do is have hauling drone reconfigurator. So very much like we had the mining drone reconfigurator, we're now also going to have the hauling drone reconfigurator. And that is going to allow us to create hauling drones. So, 3 types of drones: standard, mining, and hauling. We come up to the surface here. We've got this drone reconfigurator model. So what we can do now is actually, just on the side here, I can place this down. I'm going to place this just here. And we'll build this. If I go underground, I can actually take this one. I can remove all 5 of these, and I have to remove this first. So let's just speed this up. All 5 are going to come back. And once all 5 have gone, we can then destroy this. Now, it's not important for me to do that, but the reason I'm going to do this is because I've just built another one upstairs. Now, if I connect this up to the power, I can now convert them here instead. You might ask, why have I done this? Well, there's not a lot going on upstairs, so I've got the space to be able to do this. So I can build this drone configurator upstairs. I can't do it downstairs.
The resources are already in the truck. It's time to report back to Crust.
All right.
Okay, I'll send a message.
All good. So now the drone reconfigurator is upstairs. We've just cleared up a little bit of space downstairs because we're quite limited on space at the moment and we don't want to have too much down here. Also, a lot of these resources are down here. And we don't really want the resources down here. We want them upstairs because it's going to be better for us. So what we're going to do is we're going to salvage this by deleting it. Come upstairs. Construction mode. Storage. We've got that general storage. And we're actually going to place this right here. And that way, what we've got here is a little bit of storage right next to the pod. And then what they'll do is they'll move everything upstairs for us.
Objective achieved.
Do you not understand the seriousness of the mission entrusted to you? You were supposed to hurry. We anticipated that fully restoring communication with the moon might not be easy, but the situation is even worse than expected. Listen to me carefully, Director. From now on, any information you receive from Crust must be kept strictly confidential. You are tasked with organizing and equipping an expedition to the meteorite impact site on the far side of the moon. To accomplish this, you will need to obtain navigation data for the transport, deploy a life support system for the operators, await further instructions.
Okay.
So, Crust signed us up for a top-secret operation without even asking the director.
It surprises me that they ask for his opinion about accommodating Hope 2. Usually, if Crust wants something, they don't ask permission.
Given the current situation, this is even to our advantage. Their capabilities on the moon now depend on us. This means we can get everything we need from them in exchange for cooperation. Crust's tasks require significant resource investment, which means we need to seriously expand our manufacturing capabilities. Let's start producing components. We need titanium to manufacture parts. Find titanium deposits among the regolith using an ore detector to seriously expand our manufacturing capabilities. Let's start producing components.
Okay. Research is complete. So that's excavation speed. Having a look in our research tree. Now, if we go to engineering, we already have the ore detector because we did that earlier. So we can now build this. Construction mode. On the mining tab, we can put an ore detector down. Now, we can choose where to put that. You could tend to put it in the middle here, but you kind of want to put it in a direction that you feel like you might want to go. Now, you can start in the middle. It's not a bad idea to do that. But you're going to want to reconfigure and move this about. And we don't really have that much power at the moment. So we'll put it down in the middle just for now. But just know that this is something that we'll look to move in the near future. Let's connect this up. We'll get that to build. All right. So we need to build the ore detector. We also need to complete the contract. So, looking at the contract that we have, we've got 41 days left to do this. Now, we know we're going to do this because we know from the moon that the cargo is on its way back. We also know that this has run out of electricity on its way. So we're kind of waiting for the scout. The scout is on its way to a temporary shelter.
Objective achieved.
But we know that this is on its way.
Connected to the network. The ore detector uses battery power to run the scans.
Yep.
The further the scanning area is, the more power it requires. Select the finished ore detector and scan the regolith around it. You need to find the nearest deposits to install extractors on them. Important. Using the detector consumes battery charge. The larger the scanning area, the more battery charge is consumed. Remember this, and don't leave your base without electricity.
Right, that makes sense. We need to find titanium. Well, it just so happens there is something. Nope, not down there. We've also finished this area. So this looks like it's going to be hydrogen or water. We're kind of just looking around to see if there's anything that we can see. Now we've got this kind of opened up clear area. Also, the drones need some more to do. So we're going to continue to expand. We're going to work in an area up the top here. So we're going to push up. And then what we'll do is we'll push across. And we'll push down. And again, what we're going to do is just completely open up this area here. Just to see if we can find anything. Because we don't really have much battery at the moment. We've only got 23%. Now we can scan, and I'll do it to show you. But it's much better if we can open this up instead. So we click on this. Click on activate. And then we need to be able to choose the area that we're going to scan. Now, you need to look at how much battery power you're going to have as a result of this. So this is one of the biggest challenges right now, is it's going to consume a lot of battery. We don't actually have that much, but it is coming up to daytime, so we're okay. So we're going to go ahead and scan here. It'll put out a ping.
Objective achieved.
There we go, titanium, first
Great
guess.
job. Now build a components factory and supply it with titanium and steel. I'm sure, Director, this will be an easy task for you.
That's not always going to be there. That was actually luck more than anything else. It's procedurally generated downstairs, and so every time you play, you may have a different outcome. Just bear that in mind. We can do another ping here. Some more silicon, so 2 silicon there, which is very nice. We can do another one just around this side here. Some more ice. So we've got 2 ice deposits of titanium, 2 silicon. We don't always get this. But we are down to 10% of our battery, so we do need to be careful. We're going to continue to scan. Nothing there, and we're down to 5% of our battery. So that's all we're going to scan for now. But we do know the area that we now need to work on. So, closing that down. We can actually see where the titanium is, so we're going to come all the way up here. And again, we're just going to build out as much as we can at the moment. We can also see there's some kind of water here, so we'll build out here. Now this is basalt, which is a harder rock, and we can't actually mine this unless we research it. So we're going to have to come around this at the moment. So we'll come up the top here. Again, we're going to open up a much, much bigger area now. If you make a mistake, you can simply just click the erase the selected area, and that way you can just clean things up. If you've got a bit of an OCD, just don't click on the remove all, because, yeah, you know, that could be a bit frustrating if you do that. All right, so we're going to clear all of that area. And we're going to clear all of this area out as well. So we're going to give the mining drones something to do. We're going to open up all of these ore deposits. And then after this, we will continue. But we're going to do it in a different way. So again, we want to make sure we're coming down in a pretty straight line, much as we can. We'll come out as well. And then we've got all of this as well. So that's a huge, huge area that's going to continue to work on. But we really want to work on this area first. So we're going to set priority to high. We don't really need the hydrogen, but we will clear all of this. Pretty much up to here because that's all we can do at the moment. And just open up this area here. We need to work kind of around this area because we can't do this. All right, cool. So that's some more work to do. Confirm the cargo unload. Well, we're going to put the cargo unload down here because we want to put it next to the stuff that we've got. If we head down, this has all been kind of, there's a few bits here, but that's all getting picked up. Same with that stuff here. All right. So we need to start building a components production. So for that to happen, we need to do some research. This is the components factory, which we're actually almost done on, which is good timing. And then we need to do this hard rock drilling, which is going to be next. So the reason we're going to do the hard rock drilling is so that we can get through some of that basalt. That's going to make life a bit easier for us. We've got some good points there, so that's all working. So we need to send titanium plates.
Research complete.
We've now got the components factory, so we can put that down. And we've got all of the parts that we need down here at the moment. So if we went into construction mode, production, we have the components factory. Now, in order for this to work, we need titanium. We're not making titanium at the moment. And we need steel. So we have the steel, which is here. And we have the titanium, which is going to be over here. So we have the titanium over here. So we need to connect the steel and the titanium together, really. So it might be better to move this steel production from down here and actually move it up here so it comes up this way instead. That way, the steel can match up with the titanium and together, that can work and that can create the components that we need. So we might need to just reconfigure things here just to make it a bit more effective for us because at the moment, this setup's not kind of working, not the way we want it to. So again, we can do that, but we're not going to do it right now. Instead, what we're going to do, we're going to leave the extractor where it is. That's fine. This is a single refinery. It only refines one item. What we're going to do in the research tree
Objective achieved.
is we are going to focus on a multi-regolith refinery. This is the next thing that we want, and we kind of want to get that as quickly as possible. So we're going to send that quite high up on the list of things to do. And once we've done the hard rock drilling and the hauling drone, well, then we'll be able to set up this multi-regolith refinery. It's 16 days to complete that. But that's going to be the next task and thing that we're going to work on. So the contract's been completed.
The first contract has just been completed.
And we've been paid for
I'm
it.
already negotiating the next one. We're in a unique situation. We're at an excellent pace to rebuild production while there's still no alternative to our product on Earth. Even the most basic resources will sell at extremely favorable prices.
Okay, well, there's nothing else for us to do at the moment. We do need to go and do this contract, but we can't do that at the moment because in order to do that, we need to take these and we need an expedition center working. We do not have the expedition center right now. So we cannot take this and we cannot do this. So that is just going to be sitting there as a cargo truck, not doing anything at the moment. But we can preempt that down here there's going to be some resources. So what we'll do is we'll send this in this general direction so it can start moving. That way we're kind of just preempting that in a moment this is going to have some resources for us to collect.
Director, this place was clearly inhabited until quite recently. Judging by the items left behind, they could be survivors from MT4, our ill-fated base. I'll contact their employers at Evermoon.
All right. So we're going to wait to hear from them.
Director, we've been contacted by Mr. Holloway, the CEO of Evermoon Corporation. That's whose base we're running now. They've lost contact with their employees since the explosion and are asking us to try to find them. We can use our rover to do that, but Crust may not be happy. What do we do?
People before profits.
Thank you for agreeing to help. We received several fragmented messages from survivors at MT4, but then the communication was lost. We have sent you the coordinates of one of our complexes south of MT4. Maybe someone managed to take shelter there. Please check this point first. With your assistance, we have a chance to save them. Good luck, Director.
Understood. So now we can check out the complex. So we can see Evermoon 1B research base. It's actually quite far down. So we can head down there. And just before we do that, we can actually head over here. Select a transport, and we're going to head over to this unknown outpost. We're going to go and investigate because it's quite close to where we are. We don't need the private lab at the moment. Just so that you know, the private lab allows you to buy research points. So we could do that to speed up research, but we're not going to do that right now. The cargo is on its way, so we're going to send the cargo down here still. Nothing else for us to do at the moment. So we need to still build a components factory.
Director, finding surviving employees of another corporation is a worthwhile endeavor, but it's not our primary concern. Your emotions should not influence your decision-making, and I personally will make sure of it if needed.
Okay. He's not happy. But we're still going to go ahead and do what we need to do. So we're going to search for survivors. We need to build a components factory. Everything so far is a really good start of where we needed to be. So we've almost got the hard rock drilling done as well. We can do the component factory if we head down. But again, we want to change this. So we're going to rebuild all of this, and we're going to put it over here because this is where we need to find that titanium, which we know is over here. So we need to uncover this first. So until we uncover this, we can't undo this base salt either. So we kind of want to break that down. So the researcher is going to get this. We'll open up all of this area here. And we can do that because we have all 5 drones. Now we could make another one of these, another drone reconfiguration module. And then we can just add more drones here to do this. The other thing that we can do if we go to the logistics tab is the hauling drone reconfigurator. That's almost finished. Once that's finished, we can put that down with the other one. So again, hauling drone is there. That'll be done after the hard rock drilling. Then we'll be able to move more. So quite a lot to do, but at the moment, we've done everything we need to do at the start of this game. This is about 2 hours that we've been playing now. We can see max consumption 97. Battery, we can see is at 110. We've got enough battery at the moment for the night cycle, so we're good. We're in a really good, strong place at the moment, and I would consider this a good start to the day. We've got 200,000 credits. Everything else is working really well right now, so we're just going to go ahead and pause the game. I'm going to go ahead and save it, and then what we're going to do is, in fact, we'll just let this finish. It's at 99%.
Research complete.
There we go. Research complete. The hard rock drilling. That now means that this will automatically be able to work through all of this here, and it's starting to already. You can see it working through. Now, whereas this was leaving just normal regolith, this is now leaving, as you can see, a different material. If we look at the resources, standard regolith, but now we're getting rare earth minerals. Rare earth minerals. So we're starting to collect these. We can't do anything with those just yet. We are starting to collect them. So the regolith is still being collected.
Around the research post, there is a leveled platform and several small buildings. Wheel tracks are leading away from it in different directions. Inside the structure is disarray. Items are scattered, lockers are open and emptied, emergency crates are opened and emptied. In some rooms, there is a large amount of research equipment and materials. There are no people to be seen. They clearly left the outpost in a hurry.
So now we need to make a choice at this research outpost. Do we extract scientific data, which gives us more points for research, or do we salvage machinery for resources? Well, we do need some machinery, but we could sell that machinery or those resources for money. But we also need this scientific data. So we're going to go with the
Based on what I
scientific
saw,
data.
The outpost was engaged in studying photosynthetic microorganisms capable of living in a vacuum and zero gravity. Director, send drones to study the materials. This will aid in further research.
All right, well, we can't do that at the moment because, again, we don't have those drones. But we can go and pick up this. So we do need to take the drones with us. But if we do that, again, this is the same thing as before. Select the transport, which is the cargo truck. But we can't do this because in order to do it, we need the expedition center working. So we have to get that expedition center working. All right, so that's something else we can't do at the moment. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to send this on an expedition. We're going to send it down here. That's going to go down to Evermoon 1B Research Complex. Right, there's not really much else we can do at the moment. In fact, it's probably going to be better for us, especially for this truck.
The ASIL Corporation is requesting a shipment of silicon for the continued production of construction materials.
Just to leave that where it is.
Find out more at the control center.
All right. So ASIL needs 45 silicon. They're willing to pay us. There is an infinite time on this, so we don't need to worry about it. But we only need to send 45. Well, we can send that because we actually have 155. We'll get 18,000 credits for it. So we can go ahead and send that. Click on this. Send it all. Send it in a container. And that's going to go. Now, we could have left that. The new contract is available. This is going to land. The drones will finish that. And that's it. We're pretty much done at the moment. So we're going to leave that there. And I would consider that a solid start to the beginning of this game. So this is kind of an introduction. Join us in the next video where we expand our power, continue with the story, and work on a few more of those researches that we need to finish. In the meantime, as night sets, we'll say goodnight and thank you for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'll speak to you soon.